Welcome to our weekly New Global Media Talk Show. Today is July 7th, 2024. Today we had a topic on the table, which is the roadside accident and medical issue associated with it. But our guest was not able to, correspond because of technical issues. We couldn't hear him. So we will schedule that for next week. However, we're gonna just talk about the judiciary bill that is on the table in the parliament, and also the land allocated to President Barrow. So this will be a brief discussion, and I have my co-host Sam Ceesay. Sam, welcome.
Thank
And
you.
Famara Drammeh. Famara, also welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the judiciary bill, I mean, let's just, look into that and see, if it is a good bill or if it is something that, that's supposed to be, executed, and why, and why should it be if we think that is the case. So I'll let you guys come into it because you guys should probably have more information on this. Yeah.
Well, this has been a talk of the town lately when this bill was proposed by the Justice Minister. And my question is, why this bill and why now? Because there are more important things to Gambia or for Gambia that we need to be focusing on, that our National Assembly need to be focusing on, rather than a judiciary officer's bill, which gives or enhances the benefits of the judiciary people, when the majority of Gambians and civil servants have no enhancements to their salary or to anything that will help them with their compensation package. And not only that, first you have to look at the economy. Where are we? Look at our economy. Why giving the judiciary officers more money or more benefits that's costly to taxpayers when our country is not economically, we're not where we need to be. We're struggling. We're borrowing and borrowing and borrowing, but we want to continue to spend, and even create more expenses for ourselves. I don't think it makes sense. It's not a good idea in my mind. I don't think the bill should pass, and I'm going to urge all National Assembly members to really look for the country, look after the country. I know they are there to represent their parties. They want to pass their party agenda, but they have to realize that people elected them just like they elected the president. So they really cannot just only focus on the party agenda without looking for the best interest of the country. Even if your party has an agenda, if the agenda is bad for the country, you shouldn't vote for it. If it's bad, it's bad. You should not vote for it. You need to speak up in your own party and let them know, hey, I know we all need to support our party agenda, but this bill is really bad for people. Let's not pass it. I think they need to do that. And so when I look at why and why now, I also look at the capabilities of the National Assembly members. I went into Constitution, Section 100 of the Constitution stated that with the whole Constitution, since these elected officials, being the National Assembly members, are the lawmakers for our country, they have the capability to make pretty much any law. They're supposed to make our laws. That the Constitution prohibits them from making three things. Those three things are: one, they cannot pass a law or a bill that will make Gambia one party. They don't have the right. Okay, that's one. Two, they cannot make a bill or pass a bill that will make Gambia a religious country. They can't say that Gambia is going to be a Christian country, or Islamic country, or a Jewish country, or Baptist country, or something. They cannot impose a religion on Gambia. That's two. The third one is that they cannot do. The third thing that they cannot do is they cannot make a retroactive bill that will turn around and punish people that already had judgment, in other words. So someone committed a crime or whatever it is, the law at the time sent them to court, they were prosecuted, a judge sentenced them to prison or sentenced them, whatever the sentence is, once that's done, that's final. National Assembly cannot make any law that would change that judgment to punish the criminal, in other words. So to just explain. So those are the three things that they cannot do. So when I looked at that, I was like, oh my God, we have all these bad laws in our Constitution, and our National Assembly didn't take the time since 2016. We continue to operate with the 1997 Constitution. They still have not changed a whole lot in there. We have bad laws. And I gave one example. The one example that I gave was, they made that one a sense of urgency during 2016 election, or after 2016 election when Barrow won. They wanted a vice president to be a female vice president, and they chose Famara to be the vice president. But according to that constitution at that time, she was, her age was beyond the limit. She was, her age was not acceptable to be a vice president at that time. So there was a restriction on age, in other words. They turned around quickly and changed that one. You know why? Because they can do it. They can change laws. They can change laws, and as quickly as possible. If it's bad for the country, they saw that that's bad. That's not something we really want. So let's go ahead and change it. They quickly changed that law so that Famara can be vice president. So if they are able to do that, I asked them, why didn't they look at all the other bad laws and change them? The ones that they can change, because the Constitution is broken into different parts. You have laws that are entrenched, okay, that have entrenched clause on them, meaning the National Assembly cannot change those laws by themselves. They have to first have a two-thirds majority, which is 75% vote for any bill that is under entrenched clause. First, they have to table it and have 75% vote on that first, or 75% of them have to support that bill by saying yes to that. And then that bill get passed to the IEC for a referendum and for the Gambian people to vote it. Once Gambian people vote that bill, that's when that can be changed. Those are the bills that are, or the laws that are under entrenched clause. Everything else is not. So everything else, just like the vice president's age, was not an entrenched clause. So they can change it. Just like that, they can just change it. So I questioned them, why didn't they look at all the other bad laws that need to be removed or amended or changed somehow to favor our country, or to really not necessarily favor anyone, but to be there to really give us more of a better constitution than what it was or what it is. So why did they do all of that? And all of a sudden, after the president's salary increase, National Assembly salary increase, the Speaker of the House, the Deputy Speaker of the House, after getting all new vehicles, they voted all of these for themselves. They voted all of these to happen. They announced civil service, the government announced civil service salary increase, and they postponed it to some extent. Some people had, and at some point, and then they postponed it. Very inconsistent. So now, after seeing all of that in there, how can the National Assembly get up today and they want to change a bill, something that's even going to cost the country more money, when we have our healthcare in a disaster? We have our teachers out there that are underpaid, our security personnel, all security personnel, police, immigration, the customs, the army, the paramilitary, all of security in general, they're underpaid, right? They don't have the tools and technology they need to be able to support the country, security in the country. And security is a major issue for us. It is the government's responsibility to provide security for the people. Yeah. All right. Now, you look at all the civil servants that are underpaid, that are there, that struggle to make ends meet. How can you go to the top and increase benefits for people that are already making the money, and forget about the ones that are really struggling from hand to mouth and making ends meet? How can you do that? It really doesn't make sense. That's why I challenge it, and that's why I'm urging every single person that listens to this to go to your National Assembly members and tell them this bill does not make sense. Please don't pass it. And go to the Constitution and change the bad ones out of there that they can change within their control. I'll stop here.
Thank you, Sam, for that. And before
Yep.
I let Famara come in, I also like had some objections from people like my Fati about this bill and saying that they favor it instead. So it's like a mixed views.
Yeah, sure.
So
Yeah,
some of the reasoning behind his support for the bill is the judges, like looking at other countries, it has happened in Nigeria, it has happened in other places where their pace has been increased. But
sure.
uh,
Yep.
we also stated that, in order for judges not to be impartial, and not to be corrupt, if they don't have a decent salary, that could trigger that as well. Like you are a judge and then you are not given, like enough. So you look around, just like what Jawara used to say, you could be also down like a water, like they will it will it could entice them to become more corrupt, more corrupt. So
Well,
at this point, his point was that judges are very crucial, they have a very crucial role to play in the judicial system. So they have to get the pay that they will definitely know that, yes, this definitely is a good salary and compared to other orders. Now that is one of the argument. And the second thing also was that our judiciary, like folks, also some of them have other nationalities beside, that are not Gambians too. So you can see, and then we just okay. I mean, like if they wanna, if somebody's qualified to serve, as a judge or in the, in any judiciary, offices,
role. Yeah.
whatever, they could. But the argument is that what the benefits, that are being given, some of those benefits, like gonna be later in the end. I mean, like which is the retirement age of judges up to 75 or something. Is beyond normal retirement age. So that is another, reason why some people say that this package, is favorable or they will support it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can I respond to that before Famara comes in?
Yeah, you can. You have to
Well,
look at both sides of the
yes.
of it.
I totally respect everybody's opinion, and that was my Fati's opinion, and I respect his opinion. And if that is the case, that the judges are being compensated based on what the competitors are doing, or neighboring countries are doing, that's good. That's good. My question is this the right time? And is that where you need to start? Why don't we look at what the civil servants are making in Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Conakry, and the neighboring countries and start from the bottom? Tell the judges, we will get to your bill. We have a bill that we're going to propose for the judges, so they understand that, but we're going to start from the bottom. And before you do all these pay increases and benefit increases, we need to ask ourselves, economically, are we strong enough to increase everybody's salary? Are we there yet? If the answer is yes, we can do it, well, let's start from the bottom, and then we'll get to the judges. I'm not saying they shouldn't have it. Everyone deserves what they do, but then I don't like the idea of increasing the ones that are already on top and forgetting about the ones that can't even afford a bag of rice and their house rent on the same salary.
Right.
It's impossible for someone that's making $3,000 or $4,000, even $5,000 a month. I mean, you buy a bag of rice there, 2,000 plus, and you want to pay a house rent for 3,000. Well, the whole 5,000 is gone. How are you going to feed your family the rest of the month? We have people like that. The judges have already way past that level. Yes, they are responsible for judgment in the court, and we want free and fair trials for every single person. but then because of a low pay, does not constitute that they can make wrong judgment or be corrupt. If they are corrupt, any judge that's corrupt, that falls into the president that nominated them. If a president nominates someone that's corrupt, it is his responsibility to remove that person from there, to propose the removal of that person and get him out of there. Find someone else that will do it on the current circumstances that we have, knowing that this is what our economy is, based on what our economy is. And also, I will add this there, before increasing the judges' pay, they could say, hey, how about we take care of our healthcare first and education. Let's also work on corruption and stop losing money so we can pay people, right? So we can pay people. Go to the airport and remove that stupid airport tax that they have for every single person that they're collecting, and we don't know. I don't know if you know where that money is going. Majority of Gambians don't know where that money is going. And also, not only that, you're not seeing the benefit of that. If they're collecting $20 from every single person that goes in and out, and then we see a tremendous amount of improvement at the airport, huge, improvement at the airport, well, we may all say, oh, wow, that's great. They collected our money, but they spent it at the airport. Well, I'm not seeing it there. Even a good air conditioning in the airport, it's not there until somebody died. When somebody died, after that person died at the airport, they said heat, because of heat. I mean, my last October, not October, my February trip in Gambia, I saw they have this big 1-unit air conditioning sitting at the corner inside the airport that's blowing cold air there. Even that is not enough. So I think it's more like be something that makes sense. I want something that really makes sense for people, rather than just paying the judges more money when our people and our civil servants suffer. That's all I want to say.
Yeah. Okay. So let's Famara come in. I have more questions, but and other other views on this, so that we can definitely be.
All right, thank you, Sawaneh. It looks like you got lots of questions, right? So bring them up, because the more questions you ask, the more we try to find out what the answers are and try to relate the situation basically. So just some said this bill was here last year. They first brought it in September of 2023, and it got rejected. All right, and last year when they brought the bill, the title of the bill was Judicial Officers Nominations and Other Entitlements. That was the name of the bill last year, and it get refused. So this time around, they came back again, and then tried to frame the title of the bill, and now also include the National Assembly bill into it. So they call it the Judicial Officers Bill and National Assembly Salary and Pension Bill. So now they try to combine the two together. So it looks like the three arms of the government are working together, trying to help each other. Since they've already passed the president's bill, which they all connive together, because the bill was presented by the Justice Ministry. And when it comes to National Assembly, all the members, or most of the members, agree to the president's bill. So now, judicial bill, because it was rejected last year before the president bill came in, now they also had to go and sit down now and then put their house in order, try to reframe some words, change some words here and there, just to make it more look like they're not directly asking for pay rise, but also they are looking for, to better the service of the judiciary, like when they retired, for example, So this is the trick we have now. And now that because they're bringing in the National Assembly bill together, obviously, it looks like both bills are going to the National Assembly, and they want to get the support because they are combined, so they can get the support of the National Assembly, since the executive arm already going to support that. Okay? So this is the situation we have here. Now, if you look at it, there is no difference. All they wanted was to have the judges to have a good pension, have good allowances, and the National Assembly members too, their pension can be, they have a good pension as well at the end of their term. Now, let me try to read one of the section on the bill. I think I have the copy with me here, if I could see it. Yeah, it says, okay, for the retirement benefit of the judges, I think it's section 195.1. He said a judge of a Supreme Court shall, on retirement, be entitled to any gratuity payable to him or her, and shall, in addition, be paid pension equal to the salary from which he or she retired on. So this means that they can receive a pension or they can receive a gratuity equivalent to the salary that they retire on. And on the date of retirement, he or she shall serve as a judge of the Supreme Court for the aggregate period for not less than 10 years. And the section 2 said, where a judge of a Supreme Court retires with less than 10 years, but more than 5 years service as a judge of the Supreme Court, he or she shall, in addition, being entitled to gratuity payable to him or her, be paid a pension equal to 3/4 of a salary from which he or she retired. So this means now if a judge did not serve 10 years, but at least serve more than 5 years, they are saying that instead of getting the full entitlement of your salary you retired on, but you will get 3/4 of that amount. So you see, so it's in essence, I think there is a lack of transparency in the whole thing. They did not educate the citizens about what they really intend to do. And then when it was, the people started talking about it, the politicians adding their voices on the bill, they started coming out to defend their point, saying they are not actually asking for pay rise, but they just want to make sure the judges have better retirement plans when they retire. But we don't see any difference, especially in relation to what the National Assembly is also trying to do. With all what they have been paid, like the Deputy Speaker and the Speaker, you know, for the entire 5 years, they're going to be adding like $15 million. But then after they retire, they're going to get, you know, certain percentage of that, which is like 3 million or so. So just like Sam said, the timing is really not good in the economic situation in our country right now. Yep. You know, the living conditions is skyrocketing. And then government is not doing much strategy to come, you know, and help the citizens, you know, to cope with this rising, you know, cost of living, you know. And then all they hear they're saying is that, I mean, it's a global problem. You know, I mean, it's not only in Gambia that the prices of food are increasing, it's everywhere. Yes, it's everywhere, but every country is dealing they are coming up their own strategy to deal with the situation. So what are you doing? If you're not doing anything about it, don't tell us that the other countries are facing the same serious problem. Exactly. You know, so they're not coming with that. So if you look at those and all this rampant corruption going on in the civil service that are being reported, investigations are done and still no action taken. So I think government should have looked into that and consider the plight of the citizen first before they're thinking about their retirement plan. You know, so this is not happening here. And then the bill is not favorable to politicians, even, you know, most of the citizens. And tomorrow, people are going out to express their frustration about it. And I hope the National Assembly members are listening. I know some of them have already started coming out to say that they don't want to support the bill because, you know, the way things are going, I mean, the judges can also go and do farming. If they worry about their retirement plan or when they retire, what they're going to do. They can do something else like ordinary citizens are doing. So we cannot just share the national cake between the three arms of the government just like that. You know, like the president, you know, with all what, you know, he's learning the free taxes and everything, now he's thinking about getting the equivalent of how much he's earning when he retired. You know, starting building his own retirement home with different from all what other assets he has, you know? So, I mean, it's just crazy, Sawaneh. I mean, we just have to be serious as a nation and say the fact and then confront and then, you know, and then mention this to the National Assembly members to reject, you know, because there's no different from what was rejected last year and what is being tabled again. It's only the difference of words, you know? So, I mean, that's the situation we are facing in now. You know, I mean, it's a cause for concern for all of us. And I think the judges should not only put their interest on the table, they should look at the interest of the whole country and the citizens who are suffering daily, to put food on the table, with the economic situation. So we hope that it will get rejected, but this is the situation we have now, and then something needs to be done about it. And then the judges have to, consider this and then come back again with something else that, would be good for the judges. But for now, the way it is not favorable for our economy, and I don't think we can continue supporting this kind of bill when they come to the National Assembly. And even the National Assembly too, whatever they put on themselves there, they need to reevaluate and look into it. And it's not something that the poor taxpayers have to take the burden, to look after them when they retired or when they died, their next of kin to benefit from their retirement plan. So this is the situation we have now as we speak. So, it is crazy, but it's time for us to speak up and say no is no, and then hold our National Assembly members accountable. Thank you.
Absolutely, Famara. Thank you for that. Thank you, really. Thank you so much. Yes. So Sawaneh, you're muted.
Thank you, Famara. Thank you. I think you really touched some areas here too, that are interesting, and the notion that okay, the judges gonna be paid equally the amount that they when they retired. That is gonna be like, you still have to you still even though somebody replaced them, you're paying double salary, kind of.
We'll be paying double salary for those for
So
judges.
economically, that's not I don't think we can sustain that's sustainable, which is the fact. But during the retirement, what are they doing? They just not doing anything, or they just just sit home and then receive another salary. Why somebody else replaced them already, and you're paying that person? So they are not doing anything towards the judiciary. No volunteer service, no other things, right?
Yeah, similar thing I said about when the president's bill was out. I said the exact same thing. That means Gambians could be paying two presidents now. When that happened, after a president retired, we're going to pay for two presidents. So they've got
So
that
to means you are doubling up the government.
Yeah, and
that
is not good for our economy. That's not good for our economy. Retirement is retirement. They need to go with a good retirement plan for everyone, something that will pay people based on where they left off and what salary, what percentage, and they get and things like that. But to say that when you retire, you're going to get the same thing, like the sitting judge. I mean, what that means is, we're going to be paying double. That's what that is. And so we're not strong enough to do
that is something that people that need to be communicated with people who are going to vote on this, so that they know, as long as that person is alive and is breathing, you're paying double salary. So economically, is that feasible? We need to really arrive at that conclusion. But what other people are saying that why did we allow the president's bill and other areas reform? Why would we allow that and don't do it for the judges? What do you guys think about that? Famara?
Hey, sorry, I just woke up I'm still at work. Okay. What was the question again?
Why would we allow this, reforms in other sectors, like, the president's bill and other areas, and say no to the judges?
Well, the president bill, it was a surprise that it got approved at the National Assembly, because after looking at it, we all say, wow, why does the president want all of these things when he retired? So we were surprised when he went to the National Assembly, and then majority, because of partisan, whatever, they decided to approve it. But otherwise, I still had doubt about what the president's bill was and what he wanted for himself when he retired. That was way too much for a poor country like the Gambia, you know?
Right. But
So,
what did you what are you saying to others who are saying that this is happening, this has happened to other sectors? Why would we say no to the judges?
yeah, because we don't, first of all, we don't want the same thing to repeat again. If it happened in the other sectors and we realize that what the other sector did, especially the president's bill, was something too high, and then we didn't expect it to get approved, and then it got approved by the National Assembly. So if we see similar thing coming in again, you know, first of all, we don't want it to happen again, you know, and then secondly, why a poor country like the Gambia, instead of those people that we rely on, you know, the executive, you know, that are there to serve the government. You have the National Assembly and the Judiciary. These are the three arms of the government, and they know exactly the current situation, the economic situation of the country, the hardship that the people are going through. So if we made a first mistake by approving the president's bill, and then we are seeing the other two coming up, National Assembly also trying to get a big chunk, and the Judiciary also trying to get a big chunk, then obviously we'll say no.
Yeah,
Because
but don't you think that we made I mean, that mistake is still something that, you know, we need to do something about, because if you're ready to plan to play the game, you have to play across the board.
Yep. My opinion would be if they reject the bill, they go back to the president's bill and overturn it. That's it. That way it's fair enough.
Like you cannot have the president's bill there, everybody looking at this big cake for the president, and for paying two presidents at the same time, and everybody settle down with that. I mean, that's another you know, another controversy that is out there.
We're digging a hole and burying ourselves in it. That's what it is.
And then another question I have is that we all are saying that, you know, we are not getting paid. The governments are not getting paid. You know, we need pay increase. The cost of living is high, getting higher. Okay, so if we are all echoing that, and we started to see pay increase, why would we complain about that? Did you hear me?
Say it again.
We were all saying that, you know, on this show, and we were all saying other places that governments need pay increase because the cost of living is going so high.
Yep.
So why would we be, you know, against any pay increase in civil service?
Yeah, you know, the pay increase should be for the ones that are not making it. I mean, you can do a pay increase for everybody if the country can afford it, but at least you need to lift the bottom. The bottom cannot survive with the current living conditions. So lift them up first, and then wait for another year or so or two. If the government can stop the corruption and stop losing all those millions, if we can hold on to all those millions, then we can increase their salary too. But the bottom is the civil service, the ones at the bottom, the teachers, the nurses, the police officers, security, the drivers, and all of those people that needs to pay increase because they can't afford the cost of living right now.
So
that's it.
So doing it at the bottom level makes more sense, even though their skills and then, you know, their impact is not that as crucial as those at the top.
Yeah, you can do a pay increase, start from the bottom and go up. Again, the pay increase has to make sense. It has to match economically, it has to make sense. If it makes sense, start from the bottom and give the bottom more and the top less. Okay. So you can close the gap. That's it. You know.
So what coming to the president's bill? I mean, president's benefit on the land that was allocated. Because this president, it looks like he wants to retire in the Gambia, and he doesn't want to be like Drammeh. You know, he wants to, you know, leave us on good notes and then enjoy. He always echo that when he speaks. So having to allocate, you know, something was also a very big, you know, it was a very controversial thing when it came out. I remember Usainu Dabo pointed it out, and Ahmed Ba, the land minister, said that he's going to respond to Usainu's you know, point. But what do you think? Is it right for President Barrow to have that land, around Fajara area, or do you think that's something that such land should go to other city or other public servants rather than the president, and why?
Well, my short answer to that is I know I'm running out of time here, but
Yeah.
my short answer here is a state property is a state property. You cannot take a state property and give it to a president, period. That was a state property. It was designated for state the chief justice to reside in that residence. Whether it's developed or not is a state property. Okay, so use it for the state, but don't take the state property and give it to an individual. If it's an allotment, if it's something that's an allocation of land, the government gives of land to people, all civil servants have equal, or all citizens have equal rights to obtain one there. Yes, you can give the president a land over there, but don't take our state-owned property and give it to a president. What for? So now, in the near future, in the next 5 years, if we say we need to allocate a place for the judges or for chief justice, that means we're going to have to go buy a land somewhere or find another land somewhere. So why don't we keep the one that we already have just for that purpose? Or even if we say we decided that there's no way we're going to need that land for chief justice, since it's a state property again, use it for a state. Make it a place where that state will use it. It's a state-owned property, period. State-owned property should not be owned by individuals. That's the way I look at that.
And then this thing has never happened to previous presidents, right? Nobody has ever allocated land for them within that premises.
Not that I know of. It could have happened in the past. If it happened, maybe it did not get this exposure. And I'm sure if it happened in the past, people that were aware of it may have said something or would have said something as well. Just like now, this one is something that has been published, it's been revealed, and now everybody's aware of it. And for the most part, a state-owned property is a state-owned property. You cannot take that and give it to the president. Period.
Okay, Famara, your take on that? I know Sam has to leave in the next 3 minutes, but what's your take on that? Is he there?
He's muted. He's muted.
Okay. All right. So Sam, we're gonna wrap this up because again, for the benefit of time, but definitely the judiciary bill should be definitely re-examined and then making sure that like it doesn't pass. And since that is the case, I'm pretty sure the one that is awaiting for the parliamentarians also would also be like what Famara said, the three branches are trying to like benefit, in some way, somehow. So the parliamentarians also, we will also work on that one as well, and then try to see that that one doesn't pass as well. So with that, I think definitely we can go after the president's bill and try to overturn that because once that is hanging there and people see that it's unfair, for one man to be enjoying all this thing like an existing president, after retirement, that is definitely gonna put a dent in our economy, and of course, it's just definitely not fair to others because a president is a human being, it's a Gambian like everybody else. So if we know he's at a higher office, but there are other higher offices in the Gambia as well. So it doesn't make sense for one person to be having all these benefits while others don't. So your last word on this.
Yeah. Thank you. Unfortunately, I'm out of time now, but like I said, everything that I said on here, I stand behind them and I stand behind my opinion, just like everybody has right to their opinion. President cannot take the state property. The state property belongs to the state, not the president, and no one has the right to pick that up and give it to the president. So I would say that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, and definitely we'll catch up. Famara, any last word before we close? Famara. All right. Well, Famara, we cannot hear him. So this is it. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch up next week definitely on other, issues. All right. Take care.